All right, so this is part 2 of making our sunflowers. This is a green from, I believe this is from North Star, and this is probably called Shamrock. It could be called Jade. Either one. There's one's a little lighter than the other. So we're starting off with about 7 millimeter. We want to pull that down to about 3 or 4 millimeter. And these are the meshers that we use for making leaves. You see this pattern in here. This is important. When you're making a leaf, you want to have the mesher positioned so when you lay your glass in there, you can lay it right on these fins so you got it centered. And when you're holding your meshers, I use my little finger to control the opening and closing. So use your little finger. These, if you've ever had any training, corporate training or warehouse training, you know that these 2 fingers are your power fingers and these 2 fingers are your dexterity fingers. In this case, we're using these as our dexterity fingers. So there you go. If you don't use that little finger, you don't have as much control over your meshers. So we're going to heat the end of the green. We're going to lay it right in the groove. And we're going to squeeze so that we try to get that. Boy, I can't. My camera is not that good. It wants to focus in on my. Boy, you can't even see that. Well, anyway, trust me. This side here that I'm showing to you is the side that has the fins, and that side there is just flat. And it's all based on making sure that you lay your glass rod in the middle of this thing here, so you get your leaf patterns. So, again, it's also nubby on the end, which you have to pull to a point, because the only leaves that are nubby on the end are succulents. Same thing as making the flower petal. You pull it to a point, and you pull it off the same way. So the flower petals and the leaves are pretty much exactly the same shape. And they're roughly the same size. Although you could argue that the leaves should be a little bit bigger. And you can make a few of them a little bigger because you're going to be putting at least 5 leaves on your sunflower, and the smaller leaves can go to the top and the bigger leaves can go towards the bottom. And there you go. There's your leaf. So we have a bunch of leaves. We have a bunch of flower petals. We're going to use this rod as the stem of the sunflower. We're going to use this shade of, I mean, I guess technically this is orange, but it's like light brown. I mean, this is orange. This is like a red orange. I tell you, this stuff looks so different. When you put it in the light, it looks red. You put it out here, it looks orange. We're going to use this shade to make the bulb of the center of the sunflower. And then we're going to use some frit. We're going to use some caramel fine frit. This is number 70. You do not want to breathe this stuff in. This is definitely bad for you. So keep that away from your face when you're using it. And we'll be back.